am so excited to be talking to you today about this really cool ornament that is created purely by items from the Dollar Tree. We're going to be using a Christmas bulb that's in the shape of a Christmas light, little fuzzy balls in there, and then I'm going to show you how to make it light up, which is super fun and so exciting. So stay tuned, and here we go. So here are the items that you are going to need for today's project. You will need this DIY ornament from the Dollar Tree. You will also need this round glittered up LED ornament from the Dollar Tree. Make sure it says LED, and also make sure that the ornament actually works before you leave the store. You will also need a bag of these red and green Pom Poms. And then you will also need Tacky Glue that I always purchase from the Dollar Tree. And then the last thing you're going to need is a container of salt, just regular table salt. You will also need, I forgot to say this, you're going to need a paintbrush. And maybe something like scissors or like a screwdriver or something like that as we get into this project. Right back. Okay, once you have the white area removed, it does not matter what the top part of the ornament looks like. As long as the sides are still in good shape, that's exactly what you want. Because what you are going to end up doing is actually taking this part of this ornament out, which is the LED flashy part, the fun part, and you are going to end up putting it inside of this. So it does not matter at all what this part looks like. In the end, we will end up covering it up with some of our snow and the top part of this gray area. What you want to do now is actually take a screwdriver or some sort of flat edge and carefully turn these edges over. You want to be able to fit that gray area, this gray piece inside. And so you want to continue folding over these edges until it will fit inside comfortably and easily. There's also a little notch that you do need to be aware of, and it's right there. You want to make sure that that can go in, and because that part too needs to be able to turn once it's inside. So once it's inside like this, you can go ahead and kind of test your ornament and make sure that it can move, and we have success. The main thing is that part that does need to move on the inside, which is this part here, but it needs to be secured. And so we're going to go back again, just make sure everything is nice and kind of pushed out. We're going to use a little tacky glue as well to get this nice and snug on the inside as well. So you can see here that the top of the ornament looks good. Let's go ahead and test our light. That works great. So now what we will do, we're just going to add a little bit of tacky glue to the top of our ornament just to kind of secure that down. And I oftentimes will just dab with my finger just because I can feel exactly where it's going. I'm not getting too much or too little, and just like that. So I have my little notch right there. That's where I'm going to slide the notched area down into. and just kind of give it a good little pop, just like so. And there we are again, blinking as it should be. I'm going to leave that turned off while we finish the rest of our design. And you can see here, this is what it looks like when you chip out that center part of the ornament itself, the lid. At this time, we don't need this piece or this piece any longer for this project. So this can actually be set aside for a different project. So now we are going to open up our pom-poms, and I have already used some of these in the previous ornament. So I feel like you could easily get 2 or 3 of these ornaments created just from one of these bags. And I do put a couple of the larger ones in. I think that they are super fun. All this glitter. And I'm going to go ahead and just put all of these in here. I want to see what that looks like. Actually, no, I think that that's pretty good. I like it halfway. The ornament that I already created is halfway or so. I don't know. Maybe I'll go ahead. It's your artistic freedom. You can decide whatever you prefer for your own ornament. Okay. So now that looks good. I am also going to use a little bit of tacky glue, just kind of dab my finger in there and put it around the edge of my ornament just for a little bit of extra security, especially, at the end of the season. If this is something that I'm packing away, I want to make sure that it doesn't come apart in storage. And so now we have our blinking ornament. Super cute, super fun, but we need to add snow. I love using regular table salt for snow. I think it's beautiful, it's cost effective, and it just works out so nicely. So I'm actually going to put a little piece of paper down this time. I'm going to use a paintbrush, and I'm going to work from the top down. The only place you do not want to put the glue is the area up here around where you need to turn the light on and off. You want to be careful about that. And you want to be very generous with the amount of glue that you're putting on the ornament for this part, just because you want to create that look of snow as best as possible. And I actually end up, that was a lot of glue right there. I actually end up doing a few coats, just kind of tapping it on. But you want to make sure that you're waiting in between for it to dry. I like leaving a little bit of the silver part showing, just because I think that that's fun. You can choose to do whatever you want. And I'm going to kind of go down as if the snow was dripping down off of the ornament. And the main thing is that we want to cover up where that little light bulb is on the inside. We don't want people to be able to see that as we are admiring our ornaments on the tree. So just like this, applying the glue. And I love this tacky glue. I use it in my classroom. I use it personally for projects that I work on at home. And I'm never scared of being generous with it. It stays in place very well once you put it down. Now, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and start applying the glue on the bottom if you choose to have snow there on the tip. You can do that as well. Like I said, be generous. It does stay in place rather well. And since this is a hanging ornament, we can actually hang it to dry. Or you can lay it on its side. It's no big deal. Super easy and great. So just like so. You want to make sure you wash that brush really well after this project, just because it will harden rather quickly. Now with our table salt, we are going to go ahead and apply that to our glue. Just sprinkle all around. Like I said, you may want to do two coats. And since I use salt often as a type of glitter, you know, my leftovers, they do get used. You can tap into your leftovers as well if you'd like to. If you'd rather pour a little bit more on and then you can pat it down, that also works rather well. Just remember to shake it off really well after it's done. So once you have that done, you can choose to put a ribbon around it. You can hang it by a ribbon. I think that adding possibly a little sprig here or there with some tree, Christmas tree stems, that would be really cute. Maybe some berries, whatever you choose to do. I feel like you can stick these in a wreath or in some garland along your fireplace mantle, and they would just be adorable. So after you're done, just turn on your ornament and enjoy. So much fun, so festive for the holidays, and there you have it. Happy holidays, everybody.